track was so greasy. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have let them qualify on it, but they did, and fast time was 18.294. Roberts was second fast. Justin Evans was third fast. Randy Jackson, the former track record holder in the 24 car, was fourth. Don Stroud, Freya Swear, Dakota Goddard, and the Camaro, while his car's at the frame shop. Ron Brewster, Kendall Irvine, Skylar Weinbarger, Charlie Culpepper, Brody Sim, Alan Stroud, Mary Kate True were your 15 cars that timed in.
Now, I don't know if anybody noticed what you just said about the number 3 car, Justin Evans.
Justin Evans.
Brand new car.
First time on the track. This is coming off a fresh rebuild that went a little longer than they planned into the season. Here's the thing about this car. You look at the IMCA stock cars, they all look the same. Mm-hmm. You look at the street stocks, and what do you see? You see Camaros or the Metric Monte Carlo. Am I right? Everybody has one or the other.
Yep.
These guys are Ford guys. They are hardcore to the floor Ford fans. And they show up with a Mercury Zephyr.
And the neat thing about it is that Fox body platform, so it's like a Mustang underneath pretty much.
It looks like an old school.
It's awesome.
Remember when they called NASCAR Grand National?
Yes.
It's got that old Grand National look. It's got some nostalgia. It's so different. I'm not a Ford fan. Everybody knows this.
Neither am I, but I love that car.
Absolutely. That car showed up, and it was so different, so unique. I'm looking at it going, all right, that's badass. I mean, you got to give it. It's badass.
And the quality.
Those guys built that shop right there, built that car in the shop in Albany. You would have thought that car came from one of the chassis manufacturers. Yeah. You get down there and look at it. It is the craftsmanship.
Everything about it. It's beautiful.
It's a piece of art. I mean, it truly is the craftsmanship in that car. I see why the build took a little longer than planned. They did it right, and they did it right. I mean, it is beautiful.
I didn't want to get off topic. I just want to.
No, we're going to talk about that car. That's part of this deal. Heat race number 1 had 8 cars. Those cars were Don Stroud, Alan Stroud, Randy Jackson, Brody Sim, Charlie Culpepper, Skylar Weinbarger, Ron Brewster, and Kevin Roberts. Kevin Roberts was your winner. Ron Brewster finished second in a 31B. Another very nice race car. Very nice car. It's fast. Little over 200ths of a second was the margin of victory. Skylar Weinbarger with a third-place finish in heat race. Culpepper was fourth. Brody Sim, Randy Jackson, Alan Stroud, Don Stroud. Heat race number 2, we had Mary Kate True, Freya Swear, Kendall Irvine, Dakota Goddard, Joey Cannon, Brad Gentry, and Justin Evans. And Justin Evans won it. Mm-hmm. First race. Other than,
qualifying.
Right. Mm-hmm. First race on the car. Evans, Brad Gentry got out. He had quite a lead. And I thought, okay, well, looking down from the Moxie Tower on the track, second place to debut a car.
Time out. Come on.
Not bad. And then, we're talking 8 laps here, guys. In the second half of that race, when Evans broke out of traffic, he started to run Gentry down. He caught Gentry and thought, okay, well, here I am. What do I do? I talked with Justin. What do I do? How do I handle this? Do I go for it, or do I take the second because they're late in the race? I mean, they're coming to the white flag. And Justin put it underneath the 2G of Gentry and went door to door with him. He says, well, we've got the first scuffs on the car. It's time to go. And they raced. And Evans got the win by a little over 3/10 or 300ths.
It was definitely an exciting win.
Oh, man, what a finish. Between 2 great drivers, 2 great cars, and he debuts with a win.
Yeah.
I listen, I know how those guys work. I know the quality of driver that Justin is. I expected good things with this team with that car. Mm-hmm. Like you guys, I did not expect that win. Nobody did.
I
mean, looking at it in all reality, nobody expected that. I'm saying expected that.
Right.
I did.
I bet on
it. Is anybody surprised? I am a little bit, honestly.
We said that out of, not in a joke, but it was kind of like, you want to see it win because, you spent so much time in it. But I didn't. You're right. I didn't actually expect it to happen.
Right. Were we surprised? There's a little bit of us that I don't care who you are and say, no, we're not surprised. In all honesty, yes. You just don't come out in that class. I'm talking about the street stocks. In that class, when a guy's got 5-6 races on you.
Yeah, he should have it figured out. And here he comes out with a fresh car.
Not knowing what it's going to do and gets the win. That was... It was
really impressive.
Oh, it was fun to watch. No, that was a great race. Trophy Dash, street stocks. Brad Gentry was your winner. Justin Evans was second. Kevin Roberts and Randy Jackson. Those are 4 fast cars.
Jeez.
4 very fast cars. Little less than 0.03 of a second was the margin of victory. Gentry over Evans. He got a little redemption there in the feature or in the Trophy Dash. Then the feature rolled around. The Strawberry Cup feature. You're debuting a new car at the Strawberry Cup against guys that have got time to set their cars up, and they know what their car's going to do and they know what to expect. You're in a car where you're just kind of like, let's go see what it does. And you show up and win the Strawberry Cup. Here's the thing. Strawberry Cup feature for these cars was 25 laps. Justin Evans took that Mercury Zephyr and parked it in victory lane. Ron Brewster in the 31B was second, and that dude drove his ass off trying to catch him.
Yes, he did.
This is what I'm talking about. You guys know where I'm going with this. Justin Evans had a full straightaway lead on Brewster, who was in second. And we're watching Brewster get everything out of his car. Everything. Towards the late stages, we start seeing Brewster creep up. That gap got maybe 4 car lengths smaller than it was. Not a lot, but he made up a little. Do you know why? Did Justin tell you guys why?
No.
The car started to overheat. Started getting hot. Justin had to back out and was running, he said, half to maybe 3/4 throttle.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I don't mean to turn this into the Justin Evans show. I'm talking about how impressive what he did. It truly is impressive against this stack of cars. This is a good field of cars, guys. He won that feature by 4.5 seconds. 4.5 seconds was the margin of victory, and he lifted to cool the car off in like the last 6-7 laps, he said.
That's just crazy.
4.5 seconds is a big margin of victory on a 1/3 mile dirt track.
Most certainly is.
I can... Those guys, and I'm talking about Ron Brewster, Kevin Roberts, Skylar Weinbarger. This is the running order. Brewster, Roberts, Weinbarger, Brad Gentry was 5th, Charlie Culpepper, Dakota Goddard, Freya Swear, Kendall Irvine, Brody Sim, Mary Kate True, Randy Jackson, Joey Cannon, Alan Stroud, and Don Stroud. Those drivers left Willamette Speedway scratching their head, wondering what the heck just happened.
And you can't blame them.
We all did.
Yeah.
Dom, we were talking about after the race. Did you see what he did? If I'm a guy, listen, I like these guys. This is arguably my favorite class to watch. I talk good about the street stocks because the entertainment value you get for your money and sit in the stands watching it is incredible. It's incredible. But if I'm Brewster and Roberts and Brad Gentry and Dakota Goddard, I mean, we're talking these are probably your top 5-6 drivers. I'm thinking to myself, what do we do? What do we do if they're that good out of the box? What's the rest of the season going to look like?
Yeah.
Hope they start throwing funky setups on it to see what the car does.
I think you're going to start seeing something like that. I mean, you've got to do something, right? You've got to do something. And I'm not saying that he can't be beat. I'm not saying he's going to go undefeated. But these guys have had some time in their cars to get them figured out and get them set up. And Justin came out shooting from the hip. Now, if Brewster or Roberts or Gentry or any of the other guys on this list go out and win the next race, it's no surprise.
Sure.
You expect those guys to be up on the wall after the races. You just expect they're that good.
Yeah, it's like you say, you got that group of them. You already know it's going to be very competitive.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that.
But if I'm one of those drivers, I've got a little concern.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to make my program just a little bit better? What can I do to make my program just a little, with the set of rules these guys run under?
Yeah.
It's not like a late model where you've got a whole bunch to work with. You know what I'm saying?
You're very limited. So.
You are.
And
Even though we seem to think there's all kinds of tricks, it's still very limited.
And tech is very coming into play this year.
Well, and we've
Very
seen
hard.
that. We've seen some guys get caught. We've seen some things that
Situations happen. Yeah.
we have. And I you know what? I am all for that. I'm all for that. But this class of cars, I mean, tech on those cars is not hard.
No.
You know, and if someone's doing something wrong, it's pretty easy to figure out. It's pretty easy to see. You're going to get caught. There's on a late model or modified, a lot of stuff you can hide. You know, really is. As open those cars are, there's a lot you can hide. These cars here are designed to be fairly equal. For the most part, they are.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this weekend at Fan Appreciation Night, Willamette Speedway, to see what these guys do. Because you know how I feel about that.
Everybody's had a week off to recoup.
Yep.
Do a few things.
Guys make some adjustments. And as good as that was for Justin Evans to come out and win that race, I think for him personally and that team, it's probably just as bad.
Yeah.
Well, they put a
Because-
big target on him.
Oh, man. Every single person has got their sights on that car. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They're going to come out and wreck him. I'm just saying that he just put it to a level where they're gunning for him. They're not going to show him any mercy.
Well, I'm doing all the other drivers a favor. I made up the main video for Justin because we were on board that car
Right.
that night.
Right.
So you can go to Moxie and check out the race in action with the trophy dash and the heat race. But the main was pretty boring, and Justin requested that I made it. And I made it, but I haven't given it to him yet. So he didn't really get to see what the car's done. So he won't get it till Saturday night and have any time to make adjustments.
So you're not obviously not going to post it until then.
I'm not going to post it at all. It's
Okay.
It's boring. It's very boring.
Just open windshield running around the track.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
Justin wanted to see it, so I made him a copy. He wanted to see what the car was doing. So he doesn't know what the car's doing just off of his memory right now. So you're welcome, all street stock drivers.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Help it down.
I think that one's going to get a lot of views if he were to put it up. They'd be hitting on it.
Possible.
Sportsman was our next division. Qualifying, we had 14 cars on the clocks. Tom Yak was fast time, 16.636. Right behind him was Ryan Emery. James Slover and Glenn Hackney were your fast four. Then it was Jeff Rash, Andy Brashears, Clyde Rude, Dave Oakey, Brian Brown, Eric Lindquist, Kent Emery, Casey Rhodes, Steve Pfeiffer, and Brad Lato. Tom Yak. Did you watch that car, you guys? That 49 car?
I didn't see much of it.
Neither did anybody else that was behind him.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. We're going to talk about that. Heat race number 1, your winner was Kent Emery in the 27.
Yes.
That car that,
Yeah.
Ryan Emery's brother, who has started to establish himself as a factor in that division.
Yes, he is.
Casey Rhodes was second, James Slover. Ryan Emery was fourth. Steve Pfeiffer, Jerry Casey, Clyde Rude, Brian Brown. Heat 2, Tom Yak won. Now, when I talk about heat race number 1, the margin of victory, Kent Emery won that race by 1.271 seconds. Okay. Tom Yak won heat race number 2 in the 49 car ahead of Jeff Rash. Jeff Rash is fast. That 34 car. It's the one Kenny Wheaton was driving when he got inducted, the hot laps. Andy Brashears, Brad Lato, Eric Lindquist, Alex Emery, Dave Oakey was the running order. Tom Yak, in 8 laps, won that race by 4.03 seconds. In 8 laps, he put a margin that's a lot of real estate between first and second. Pay attention to what that race car does on the track. This is a sportsman car. This is a 3-link setup. 3-link. It's a former modified, converted over to a sportsman. I don't know what they've figured out, but that car is the only one in this division getting up on the bars like it's a Swartz or a Rocket or it looks like a 4-bar setup under that car.
Yeah.
The left rear goes forward, the car goes up.
Everything it's supposed to and more.
It does. And you see how that car gets through the corners?
Yeah.
Now they're on G60s, right? No. Sportsmen, they come on the slicks still.
Right.
They're on the slicks, the asphalt slicks. But that car coming out of turn 2, looking at it from the Moxie Tower, that left rear tire, just like a late model, just like an IMCA modified with a 4-bar setup. It shoves to right up under the driver. The car goes up, and just the power goes down, and he drives away.